Welcome to today's episode of Life in HD, where we welcome special guests to come in and chat with us about human design lived out in real life. And if you're new to this channel, I'm your host, Crystal Alferrero. I'm a human design guide and founder of the Human Design Academy. And today we're going to be talking about life as an emotional manifestor with our very special guest, Karolina, who's a magnetic 1-3 emotional manifestor and business mentor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today?
Hello, everybody. I'm feeling very, very good. And I really loved how you pronounce my name because it's very
Is
correct.
I don't know. It felt intuitive to say it that way instead of Karolina.
Perfect, perfect.
Oh,
I absolutely love it. Thank you very much for having me. I really love the idea because I feel that by listening to someone through their life, through lens of like their human design and how it's like how you see it pop up, you can learn a lot and you can encourage someone else to like, okay, let me try like how it will be to live myself as me. So
mhm.
I really, really love it.
Oh,
And I'm very happy to be here.
yay. And I'm happy to have you. And so, Carolina, however you would like me to say it today, I'm going to probably go back and forth between in this
No
interview.
problem.
But yeah, I guess I know who you are. And, there's a lot that has been going on for you lately, but for the people that are joining us in for today, if you could share a little bit more about yourself, who you are, and what it is that you do.
Sure. So my background is almost 80% of marketing because for like 6 years, I'm having my own digital marketing company. So I do social media for my clients. And that's very creative for me because I don't do the same thing over and over again.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's TikTok, sometimes it's Instagram, and I have a different variety of clients. But because it's not enough for me, my soul was dragged into human design, and I loved it so much that I needed to learn absolutely everything. So after that, I said like, okay, not only I have to know about human design, everybody have to know about their human design. So yeah, so I started learning. I started to speak with my friends, with my family. Then very quickly, I started to have sessions with my clients. So first it was only readings on one-on-one human design. Then it was more with the business approach because I loved that bit very much. Because
Mhm.
also I had a moment when I was absolutely burned out. So starting to live as a manifestor, having my own business, that was also something very, very new to me because I was living as 100% generator or even like a manifesting generator on steroids, which led to burnout.
Oh yeah.
So with all that knowledge, I said like, okay, like more people have to know about this, how to align your business with yourself, how to speak to your clients based on your chart, how to build relationships based on your chart. Because like I feel that I'm living 100% an experiment with the human design. So marketing, business, a bit of like more of a mentoring because like I'm not a coach, but I like
Mhm.
to mentor.
Yeah.
That like, okay, this is what I do, and this is based on your chart, how you can do it too. And I always say that you have your own recipe for your success inside of yourself and inside of your chart as well. So that's what I
Yeah.
do.
Oh, amazing. And so kind of going into how you became obsessed with human design and wanted everyone to learn about it. What was your personal journey with human design? Like, how did it find you and how has it
Mhm.
impacted your life so far?
It was very interesting. It was at the moment when I had my company for like 6 years, but before human design, it was more of approach that I was a rental. Literally, someone rented me for my hours. Someone rented me to like do their social media and stuff. So I was more of a rental worker than a CEO of my own company.
Mhm.
I still am. My business is only me and my assistant, and it's been that way for like almost 2 years now. But yeah, but still, I was doing all of the stuff. I was doing absolutely too much and the things that I was not supposed to do. And my friend, we just had a random chit chat, and she said like, "Oh, do this test on human design and see who you are." I said like, okay, like send me some link or something. So she sent me a link to generate my own chart. So I did. It came up that I'm a manifestor. I read like few sentences and like, okay, it sounds really nice. But like, it was all that's I finished at that point, and like, okay, that's great. Like, I have had no idea what to do next. There was
Mhm.
no steps, no nothing. It was just like, okay, like it sounds very nice that I am this powerful person. I don't see myself as that, but like, okay, like let's leave it there. Fast forward like few months, there was not very good things happening in my marriage, and I'm usually the person that goes through some experimental things, like let's do things that absolutely make no sense, have no
Mhm.
logic at all, and like let's try this. Because I felt that I was in marriage for 19 years, so I absolutely felt that I tried everything, and everything failed. So I was like, okay, let's check human design. Maybe I will have some answers there. So
Mhm.
based on that, it came pretty obvious why we had problems that we had. My ex-husband was a generator, I was a manifester, and I was all the time misunderstood. And all the time I had to explain myself, like, why do I think like this? Why do I act like this? Like,
Mhm.
why? And he was in his bubble that like things should be the way he wants them to be.
Mhm.
So absolutely there was no way to work it out, and we tried for a while to work it out through human design lens. Spoiler alert, fast forward, we're not married anymore. But human design stayed with me because it was since then I started to dive deep. I wanted to know more. Then absolutely the first steps when I wanted to know more, I found your course.
Yeah.
So I went into the course. So that made so much sense. And I fell in love with human design, and it's been in my life since then. So it's going to be like almost 2 years now, like a year and a half,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah. Oh, love it. I mean, it's a journey. There's lots of aha moments that happen when we start experimenting with human design, I'm sure. And so I guess I wanted to rewind back into time and ask you a bit about how it was like growing up as a manifestor child. Like, was your home environment conducive to being a manifestor? Did you get a lot of space and autonomy growing up?
Mm. So I think both yes and no. I feel now that I see myself as a manifestor, like I was one badass manifestor child.
Yeah.
It was like
Makes sense.
always. Absolutely. Now it
Yeah.
makes sense. Back then, I was the person who never fitted in. I was the person who now I know that maybe some other kids was like scared of my power, of my potential impact. So they decided to like, put me down very
Mhm.
early. And still, yeah, I was more of like an outsider.
Mhm.
Regarding of my environment, like my mom, my dad, if they gave me space, not consciously.
Yeah.
They gave me space because they worked a lot, so there was never no one home. So I was almost all the time alone. We were the kids, the 80s and 90s kids are the ones who were having the keys on their neck, and we were like all day outside and like, okay, oh, it's dark, I think we have to go home. So we're going home. So we were that kind of kids. So there was a lot of freedom, but
Mhm.
not because it was because the parents were too busy to take care of ourselves. So I think because of that, it was good.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because like my life motto is like, if you cannot help me, then please at least do not interrupt me.
Yeah.
So I think that was what my parents did. They did not interrupted me. If
Mhm.
I had some crazy idea, I bless my mother because she always supported me. If I wanted to
Oh.
play the piano, she like, okay, like this is like your friend's father who knows how to play almost every instrument, or maybe
Mhm.
all of the instruments. He will teach you. Then I got bored. Then like, okay, I want to go to painting class. Okay, I was going for 3 years to painting class. I wanted to, I had my exams to art school, but back then, I'm from the baby boomers, so there was a
Mhm.
lot of people on one place. So
Yeah.
my life as an art student has failed because I had to fail the exams because it was like around 35 people for one
Oh, wow.
place.
For art exams?
For art exams,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Go to art school.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it was a lot. So back then it was, I felt that my life was over and I wanted to rebel so much. But yeah, at the end, I just said I will not go to a regular school, like not a normal high school. So I went to a school with a profile.
Mhm.
Then I had only two to choose from. One, it was gastronomy, so food, etc., and the other one was in sewing, in fashion. So I said like, oh my God, like my mother is like sewing. She has her whole business about
Yeah.
like doing men's suits, and like, I don't want to do it, but like I don't want to go into food industries. Like, okay,
Mhm.
so my rebellious life finished when I had to go to school to teach myself about fashion.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was like the freedom was given to me without any knowledge because
Mhm.
nobody had time. But thanks to that, like, yeah, I think I wasn't, at least by my parents, repressed by them.
Yeah.
More about the colleagues. So this is like the interesting bit. Like everybody now I see is that I was a threat for them,
Mhm.
but I was really wanting to fit in. I also have an open G center, so like
Yeah.
wherever I go, like if they're listening to punk, I was going listening to
Yeah.
punk. If they were listening to hip hop, I was having those big pants and like
Yeah.
the baseball hats and like, yo, what's up?
Oh yeah, I've been through that phase too. Totally good.
Exactly. So wherever I went, like I tried to fit in,
Mhm.
but yes, especially in the like not kindergarten but like the preschool, it was very hard for a manifestor. So I think like the
Mhm.
inside environment of school is very hard because I was imagining that school is bad because they're like teaching us bad things. Like it should be like, I don't know, in Sweden, I heard back then that they can choose what they are learning.
Yeah.
That like they're learning Swedish, English, math, but rest you can choose. And I was like, oh my God, if we would have in Poland like schools like that. So
Mhm.
very, very early age, I was like, thinking already in the future, like, oh, it would be so good. Like, yeah, I had those
Yeah.
visions.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, it's so true. I mean, nowadays it's like there seems to be a lot of pressure on parents to, not condition their children, but there's so many other environments and spaces that your children are exposed to because it seems to me
Yeah.
that, your parents did, I mean, obviously what they could to give you that. I mean, I know you said unconsciously give you that freedom, but you grew up very independent, unafraid to go for what you wanted, right? And had those interests at least. But it seemed to be that it was more the school system that suffocated
Yes.
you and kind of put you in this box and limited, and I felt the same way growing up. We didn't have all this online stuff. There was so
Yeah.
like we were so limited in terms of career options that we could choose. And yeah, did you feel that it was more so coming into adulthood and having to figure out your career that I guess you could say conditioned you more so than your childhood?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can say it like that. Because like I never went to a regular job, so I
Mhm.
think that that's also a blessing because
Yeah.
I always, even if I worked for someone, it was my mom, so it was a different type of like worker and director CEO
Yeah.
relationship. But I never applied for a job. I never sent any CV. I never like or how do you call it,
The
referrals, etc. And I think as for me as a manifestor, that was a blessing that I always was looking for something to do myself.
Mhm.
um so yeah, but always in the background I heard like, okay, this is like you should do this and that, earn this kind of
Mhm.
money, get a job. Like, even if my now I remember that my mom tried to condition me a bit in school, because I was not an eighth grade student. It was more of a medium to lower
Yeah.
sometimes. It depends what flow was I at.
Yeah.
But I feel that thanks to that, like, I'm more creative, so I
Mhm.
can figure out more businesses. So I can figure out more offers for my business, and I'm not put into any kind of box,
Mhm.
um, which I think the society wants us to, especially. Even me getting married at a very young age, it was more of a rebellious thing that I wanted to, okay, because not always good things were happening in the house. So I wanted to start my life
Mhm.
early. And
Yeah.
the only opportunity I saw then for myself was to get married.
Yeah.
So in my 20s, like, I hit 20 and I was already married with my first child on the way.
Mhm.
So yeah, I fitted into that box, more of a mother taking care of the children. Yeah, I'm really processing it all right now. Like,
Mhm.
we're having a mini therapy session at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. You had a long, long journey. And I guess, before you came into or actually when you first came into human design, what would you say was the biggest challenge for you in terms of stepping into your design more? Because I know you already had that freedom growing up and like you did go for what you want, but was there anything in particular that, stopped you from living that? Was there anything that created resistance for you?
Yes, because like, from even doing my business, like, pretty much there I was conditioned to, like, more of the obey, like, as a worker, and do
Hmm.
everything for the CEO of the company that I'm working to. Although we're business to business, but I feel as a worker position. So I think maybe that conditioned me more. But going into human design, I think of the most difficult thing was to let go of that image of myself as a business owner back then, as
Hmm.
a business owner worker for someone,
Yeah.
and to really claim the power for myself.
Hmm.
So to let go, and yeah, and feel that everything is going to, like, unfold in good matters in the right time, and that there will be the right, to trust. Yeah, I think to trust and to let go, those were two
Yeah.
things that was the most hard. But when I started to experiment with human design, I said to myself, okay, I'm giving this 1 month. one
Hmm.
month of totally living in the experiment. I'm only
Hmm.
doing it as a manifester, as
Yeah.
a one free, as a defined heart. And, like, if after a month it will fail, then okay, I will leave it and I will move on to the next thing. Like, after 3 weeks, it was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's so fun. It's so good. I don't have to work so
Mhm.
many hours. Like, and
Right.
it's gonna still, the money will come, and still the clients, like, better clients started to come. And, like, they were seeing me as a mentor and not as a
Mm.
worker. So
Yeah.
that was huge for me. And yeah, since that, there was no looking back.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I resonate a lot with that journey. We're both 1 3s. So it's both like we're both like, okay, well,
Exactly.
things are not working right now. So let's just experiment with it for a little while and see what happens. And it's like, whoa. Why didn't I do
Exactly.
this earlier? Right. And I love how you
Exactly.
said, learning to let go because I see that you're bridging gate. You're a split definition, simple split,
Hmm.
and your bridging gate is that gate 21, right? The will to be in control and that
Oh
fixation
yeah.
on control and needing to maybe control the details. And so letting that go, especially when you
Yeah.
have that undefined solar plexus, or sorry, solar plexus, that undefined sacral center,
Yeah.
like, whoa, I didn't have to actually do all that stuff. I could have asked for support. And I'm sure you went through the flows of that. And so yeah, I think what I'm hearing from you is like some of the biggest I guess conditioning for you was the conditioning to be a generator, be a
Yeah.
manifesting generator and do all the
Exactly.
things, right? Did you find it difficult to at first inform and initiate when you needed support by other people?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because for me, informing was asking for permission.
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
this is what people taught me,
Yeah.
that always when I came and like, oh, I will be doing this, like, oh no, you can't, because this and that, the
Mhm.
environment, the war, the global warming, etc. So I stopped informing.
Yeah.
And after I learned like I need to inform, it's more at this moment, it's more for me explaining than informing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so it's when I like my authority decides on something that I want to go with something, to I usually go to someone, I don't know, my partner or my kids, like anyone who will be impacted. Like for
Mhm,
example, I live as a manifestor, I live my life in flows, literally in projects.
mhm.
So I'm right now in my hyper intensive flow, like a lot
Yeah.
is going on, and I
Mhm.
think it will be at least until end of April when I will be in this doing until I will back down. Now I'm tired.
Summertime.
Leave me alone. So right now, when there's many things going on, and after I just recently went from my moment of hibernation as a teddy
Mhm.
bear.
Yeah.
So obviously everybody who's inside the house, like, okay, mommy's doing everything, mommy's doing the laundry, mommy's doing grocery shopping, mommy's cooking,
Mhm.
like my kids are like grown-ups, so
Yeah.
they can do all of that things. But if I'm at home and I'm not doing a lot of work at this moment, like I have no problem doing that.
Mhm.
But when like, okay, mommy has one interview, another interview, like I'm doing this offer, this webinar, that webinar,
Yeah.
so like, okay, it's time, I need help. So like this is how it's going to be.
Mhm.
And I have to explain on why, who's gonna do what, for like
Yeah.
everything to be still, everybody will survive, live, be
There we go.
healthy, happy. Exactly. So informing for me at the moment is more of an explaining.
Mhm.
Sometimes it will be expressing my feelings where I'm at, because I always, when somebody meets me, or when I meet someone new, I always say like, hi, I'm different.
Yeah.
I'm different in thinking, I'm different in approach. So like if you see something different, like don't worry, it's normal for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will
Yeah.
be unnormal, unnatural for you, but like
Mhm.
I'm different. So that's where my informing comes to explaining, like
Yeah.
even like simple daily situations, business situation, I'm explaining like, listen, I see it as this. And for my like, I'm surprised that somebody thinks otherwise.
Mhm.
But like, okay, I see you. I like I'm very open if somebody has some other opinion. It's not a problem for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like, let's see where you are, where I'm at, and how we can combine it for like, for our growth, for
Exactly.
our like better life. Yeah. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter if it's a partner, a client, a friend, like, okay, where are you at? I'm here. Let's build something from that. So yes,
Yes.
but it was difficult. It was difficult. Now it's like very, very often I have no problem with informing at this moment.
Yeah, I feel like a lot, not a lot. I mean, quite a few manifestors that I've encountered when they first come across this strategy of informing, it almost feels like a punishment for them, right? It's like, no, I don't have to. And there's a lot of resistance around
Yeah,
it, but it's exactly what you said. It's to make sure everyone's alive and okay. There's harmony, you're not interrupted. So it's there to support you,
yeah,
right? As opposed to
exactly.
being that punishment. And I guess if you could also explain to us or maybe share with us an example of how your strategy and authority process work, because I know some people get a little confused, especially as manifestors. You're very go go go, but at the same time when you have that emotional authority, it's like there's that waiting for clarity that also needs to
Hmm.
happen. So is there
Yeah.
like a recent big decision, or I know like for you, for example, going through your divorce, what was that decision-making process like for you in terms of informing and waiting for clarity?
Oh God, like that process, it took me 19 years.
Yeah.
So it was like I went through all the highs and all the lows. And also what kept me stuck was definitely my one free profiles as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, okay, let's try this, let's try
Mm-hmm.
that. And there was a lot of conditioning going from my ex-husband. So I was stuck in there because we're manifestor, we have a lot of power, but it's very, very easy to like manipulate us, to like strangle us, and like no, your place is down there. And like then we have to put months, sometimes years, to like claim that power back.
Yeah.
So if it comes to me growing up, to the divorce decision was like years, not maybe 19,
Mm-hmm.
but it was years, because like the idea of divorce like popped up every 6 months, like literally. But like, okay, let's try this thing, let's try that thing, and it
Yeah.
didn't work out. And it was a click for me. One day he said something that it clicked in my mind, when I was like, okay, it's not going to work out anymore. And I was 100% sure it came after those years.
Yeah.
But regarding other decisions, like maybe business related,
Mm-hmm.
this is something tricky with manifestor, because like we don't have the energy, but we're also very fast. So
Yeah.
that is something like really you can combine
You can
those
push
things
through.
together.
Yeah. Right.
And yeah, there is us manifestors. So I am very fast daily. Usually I have two generators, generator, like we have almost everybody except reflector, but I don't know who my dog is. Maybe
Oh,
he's on reflector.
yeah.
I
Right.
never tried that one. So when everybody sleeps, until I don't know, it's Saturday 10, I already have the house cleaned, the shopping down, chores done, and I'm already on my computer doing something.
Uh-huh. That's
And everybody's
impressive.
asleep.
Yeah.
And everybody's asleep. But if it comes for the decision making, like why did I say it, why it's important? And because like I really live in that flows, in that, like I feel that regarding my business, there's like winter, like spring, winter,
Mm-hmm.
summer feelings. And once I understood that, it was also easier for me for the decision making.
Right.
Although I'm a manifestor and I do initiate, sometimes I initiate too early.
Mm-hmm.
Like I also need to wait not only for my authority, but sometimes also I need to wait for like the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Because and usually when I make that decision, especially business wise, it have to happen fast.
Yeah.
Like I cannot I tried, I cannot plan for like next months. I cannot plan for a year. Oh, forget it. If
Right.
I will plan like, oh, I will do this month this offer, this month that offer, um, it's not happening.
Right.
But if I will wake up and I will have the urge, like, okay, I'm gonna do, because also human design is one thing, but sometimes I'm practicing with abundance, with manifestation practice, because when clients come to me on human design, usually they lack this phase of their life, like the
Yeah.
abundance, like how do I make it happen? So sometimes I get this urge to inform about that bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing like human design, human design, human design, but then one day I was like, no, I need to do something on manifesting, because I see that everybody needs this, because this is something that's stopping them from like, okay, I have the knowledge, but I don't know like what's next, how to like push it forward a little bit. So I decided, okay, I'm doing a webinar on like manifestation.
Yeah.
And because I know how it went like last times,
Yeah.
I said like, okay, let's like have 3 weeks up front. I will do this, I will do that. And I canceled it. I just
Mm-hmm.
canceled it because I was in my upper wave when I decided back then. But then came to the lower wave, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't have the like energy. I don't want to do this. I don't know what will I say. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like, sorry guys, I'm canceling it.
Yeah.
And like it was, now it's months later. I decided, okay, I'm doing the manifestation thing, because like I have some also meditations for my clients and stuff. Like, okay, let's put it into an offer and put it into a product,
Hmm.
but it has to be 1 week ahead, not
Yeah.
more. With
Hmm.
1 week, I'm gonna like promote it, do it, even if I will have less people, even if there will show up, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 people, like I don't care. It have to be 1 week or I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So yes, now if I'm even having that decision, I have my urge. There's many little things here,
Yeah.
because I need to have my urge. I need to be in my creative flow. It needs to be at least spring or summer of my
Yeah.
like flow business.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, my emotions are high. Okay, I'm gonna wait few hours and see,
Hmm.
because if I want to do the webinar in 1 week, I cannot wait more. But
Yeah.
like, even I think if you're living with your authority, even if it's the emotional authority, it's getting faster, it works faster.
Hmm.
So you don't need days, months,
Yeah.
years.
Right.
Sometimes even if we start a conversation and you will give me some proposition and I will say, okay, like give me a sec. And but we're talking. Okay, I made my decision at the end of the
Hmm.
conversation. I had that time to wait to like, okay, think through, set
Yeah.
on my emotions. How do I feel with it? And then there's the decision, it came up. Sometimes it's like 3 days, but
Yeah.
with the webinar, yes, I was on the high of emotions. So okay, I'm gonna be on this wave for the next few days, so I will be able to like push it
Yeah.
through and finish it. And I had this webinar yesterday, so it was, the flow was magic, it was
Hmm.
magnetic. I went with my total 100% flow, because I never do any scripts. I know it's okay, it's going to be about manifestation, so I'm
Hmm.
doing like, I light up my candles, I light up my Palo Santo wood,
Yeah.
and like, okay, guide me.
Yeah.
Universe, guide me.
Hmm.
Whatever those people here need to hear, like let it just go through me.
Oh yeah.
And it was wonderful, and I wasn't exhausted, so
Hmm.
that was also a wonderful thing. I wasn't exhausted. Usually if I push too hard, or I made my decision at the wrong phase of my authority, of my
Yeah.
emotional weight, I'm usually like, oh my god,
You're
it's over,
exhausted.
thank god.
Yeah. Oh,
But
totally.
yes, but I made the right decision in the right time. Everything was aligned,
Yeah.
and it was, yes, I did it. Okay, like now I can do the next step. So that is
Hmm.
wonderful. If you even are an not sacral being, and you don't have the energy, if you do it right,
Yeah.
if you do it aligned with yourself and like in the right timing, in the right flow, you will not even be tired. So
There you
that
go.
is also something mind-blowing and very, very, very nice what I experienced yesterday.
Absolutely. And I love that you mentioned because, sometimes they say that your authority is your flow, but I like how you made the distinction that, sometimes your emotional wave and getting that clarity isn't always aligned with when you're actually in flow with that urge, that creative urge. And so, waiting for that right internal timing before initiating is so important for you so that you feel energized by what you do. And I like that you schedule things like not more than a week advance. Cause again, like if you know that flow is there, it's important that you ride that wave and that you're not like waiting too long. Otherwise it can kind of fizzle out. So yeah, I think what you're saying is, it's just really important to be attuned internally to what that flow feels like and not feel like you have to commit to something right away, even though it's clear for you that you want to do it. Right.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I mean, so many nuances in how
Yes.
we can experience that. Um, and
It may feel overwhelming, but like once you start practicing with one thing, it's not like, oh, I have to wait to like check out all of these points.
yeah,
No, I
Exactly.
first started to experiment with one thing, then I added another, then like, okay, like stop those and I'm going to experiment with this. And then it all came together. So now it's more like automatic. It's
Mhm.
natural. But it wasn't like I was starting with one thing at once. One
Yeah.
thing at a time. And then it all came up and line up all together. So it sounds complicated.
Yeah.
At first it may be, but
Yeah.
like through time it's all good.
Oh, yeah. And I see that, you have your open head center and you have the
Yeah,
undefined root. So you're someone that's not here to be pressured and live on someone else's timeline
absolutely.
or rhythm, even with your gate 5, the gate of fixed rhythms, it's like you have your own patterns and you've learned to work with that in your life and in your business and incorporate it into human design and how you've structured the way that you do things on a day-to-day, which is really, really cool. And
Thank
I
you.
love how you mentioned, we talked a little bit about your 1-3 profile a
Yeah.
bit in your experiment. But how do you see that currently showing up in your life and in your business?
So the one, my detective that wants to know everything on a daily basis, you can see it on a daily basis. It's
Mhm.
when I'm with a conversation with someone about absolutely anything. I don't know, like oh, we watch a show and like, oh, like who's that? And I'm like, wait a second.
Oh, yeah. I do that too.
Oh,
That's
this is
hilarious.
this person, etc.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah, and I already know everything. Like, is she single? Is she not? Like, do she has a company? Blah blah
What
blah.
year was she born?
Exactly. Like, okay, what's her human design?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So on a daily basis, you can see that. That's the most like obvious thing as a
Yeah.
as a one. Um, I always say sometimes because it's also for me it works in waves for the
Mhm.
bigger like
Yeah.
things. For example, I have sometimes some weeks that I go in the morning with my dog. I put my headphones and I'm listening to a podcast. I'm listening to an audiobook. Then I come home and I read. And I do it for a week or two, sometimes free. And then it all stops. Like
Mhm.
no headphones, no even music, no nothing. Absolutely no writing, no reading, no nothing.
Yeah.
So it comes in waves, and I
Mhm.
learned to honor that, not to push myself, because even if I'm listening to an audiobook, if I'm in the moment that I don't want to, I will forget what it's all about.
Mhm.
And then sometimes my brain even activates on some keywords
Yeah.
and like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Like, let's pause it. Let's like go back 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, but now I honor those things that okay, now it's the moment that no, it was too much knowledge. It's difficult for me to like do it, okay, like from Monday to Friday it's 20 minutes every day with knowledge.
Yeah.
No, it's like whole Saturday
Yeah.
from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I will be doing
Depends.
courses, I
Oh,
will be reading.
yeah.
So yeah, so it's more like that. I love it. I learned that
Mhm.
I can do it and it's okay
Yeah.
with me. And it's okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
With free, I feel that I'm always in the experiment. Um, rather in the past it was more bumping into things, but
Mhm.
now and this is great, that sometimes you just need to be aware of things.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just need to be aware that it is as it is, and oh, okay, like this is my experiment, and it doesn't matter if it's like choosing some new drink from a restaurant, or I don't know, like reading a book which I never read before. Not even like a book itself, but I usually I read business related books,
Mhm.
or like on how to be a better person. So I
Yeah.
don't it's nothing like about a history of someone,
Yeah.
or like all of those fantasy books,
Yeah.
etc. So it can be experiment with that kind of a book, for example.
Mhm.
So it's more conscious.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of experiments regarding my business, like, oh, let's see what happens if I will do this.
Mhm. Yeah.
So like it's there was one cartoon like this, I don't remember the name at the moment. It's like, oh, what does this button do? So I
I feel like
feel
that's
like,
all of the cartoons. There's always that secret button.
yeah, exactly. So it's more like this at the moment.
Mhm.
Like, oh, what will happen if I will do
Yeah.
this? Let's
Yeah.
experiment. Like,
That's funny.
try, go. And I
Mhm.
really, there's a lot of encouragement from myself, for
Yeah.
other people, for my clients, for my close friends, for everybody that we're living in
Mhm.
with. It's like, go, like, try, like, experiment.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, even if you fail, like, you will know that, okay, I'm not going to do this again. Or like,
Mhm.
my daughter has a 6, so
Yeah.
right now she's absolutely 100% free
Yeah.
at this moment. So I'm like, okay, like, you fail, like, did you learn something? No, because she's doing the exact same thing again. So, okay, now did you learn? No, she did
Mm.
not learn yet. Okay, so I'm waiting for that moment. But
Yeah. How old is she
so
now?
she knows, yes, she
Is she Oh,
knows,
how
but
old is she?
she's 15. So yeah,
Okay.
she's
Yeah.
old. She's old, but it's very difficult when as parents try
Mhm.
to like explain something, but
Mhm.
she doesn't like to listen more about herself. But if it comes to her friends, like, oh, who he is, like, can you pull a chart? Like,
Yeah.
who he is,
Oh, that's
who
funny.
she is.
I love
And I'm
it.
like, yeah, okay, great. Like, and my daughter is complicated because she's a very defined. She has only her
Mhm.
throat undefined.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you can see that on a daily basis, like how. So this is how difficult. Have much more openness in my chart, as you can see,
Yeah.
than my daughter.
Mhm.
So it's very difficult for me to like push something through, and like not even push through, like, okay, so you were in this phase of experimenting, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
and trying to like explain and like take a little bit of the advice,
Yeah.
please. No, no. Even
Typical line 3. I mean,
she,
first stage for
yes,
her.
exactly. So she will say that, yeah, I will do it, but she's doing completely opposite. And even for coming back to the authority and the number 3 of experimenting, when I was a child, I think maybe that was my mom, or maybe in class they told us, if you want to make a decision, write down your
Mhm.
pros and cons, like,
Yeah,
yes,
I remember that.
no. I always chose the one that has more minuses, that was like telling you not to do, but
Oh,
I was
really?
like, I want to do that.
That's hilarious.
So sometimes it was maybe my free, like, let's see what's
Mhm.
happened. But I think most of the times it was like my intuitive knowing that
Mhm.
I know I need to go that way. It
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter if is that everybody, there's all those signs. No, do not enter. Like, I
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. Well, it kind of
it
like
is.
worked in your favor in the other way. Like at least your body knew, right? It was pulling you towards
Yeah,
experimenting, having fun, seeing what happens.
exactly.
Right. And I know, okay, so
Exactly.
before you were talking about, creative waves and, sometimes you have periods of time where you work in projects and,
Yeah.
you're either doing a lot of things, you're doing, and then you have periods and seasons
Yeah.
where it's kind of like on a low. And so, as an entrepreneur, what would you say to other manifestor entrepreneurs that are scared of taking a season off? Like, how can they prepare for that downtime? If whether
Mm.
financially or, budgeting, stuff like that. Is there anything you would recommend to prepare to have this kind of down season and rest season?
Um, it will be very difficult at first. Especially if it depends if you're good on planning or not.
Hmm.
If you're not good at planning and a great season happened, so you earn a lot of money, so you know that nothing will happen if you will do nothing for the next 2 weeks or a month, then this is the time to take that time off.
Hmm.
Nothing will happen, everybody will remember you. It's not
Yeah.
that, like, when we, even if we are doing those pauses on social media, nobody notice that. Nobody.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
like, sometimes even, like, I don't follow a lot of people,
Yeah.
but sometimes, like, I go on stories and somebody like, oh, I wasn't a while here. Like, really? Like, I thought I saw your stories yesterday, or maybe not. Like, but
Hmm.
that person was in my mind. So it's not that if you will disappear from social media, if you will disappear from your work, like, everybody will forget you. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
Yeah.
So try, if you had some good month or a good period of time, it will be okay, because, like, you will work your your things through. I think because like I also work with the abundance thing.
Mhm.
It never happened. I bet that never happened if in anyone who's listening right now in your life, that there was a period that there was absolutely no money coming in, that
Mhm.
there was
It's so true.
zero. Absolutely, it's impossible, because even if not from the clients, maybe some, I don't know, some friend like, oh, remember a year ago you loaned me like, I don't know, $50, like here it is. Or you will find something on the ground, like literally. I was one time, I never found money on, like, maybe it was, 5 zlotys, like those small
Yeah.
amounts. And then one day I'm coming, it's like dark, it's night, I'm coming with my dog, there's nothing, there's just like a parking lot, nobody's here because it's late, and I'm coming
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh my god, it's a bunch of money.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, it was around, in euro, it was around 200 euro.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I had my friend on the phone, and I was like, oh my god, there's money on the floor, on the ground, like literally on the ground, money. And
Oh,
that
wow.
was one of my periods that I was like going backwards, like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm getting some rest. And that was that moment when I found the money. And she said like, take it. And I'm like, I'm grabbing it, I'm like looking like, who dropped it? And there was no one, so I like,
Yeah.
okay, like I will take it. Because it's there, like
Right.
I waited, I think 2 weeks. I was going there like if somebody's looking for the money, but I never
Mhm.
found no one, so I like, oh, okay. So I think
Yeah.
it's mine now. So there will never be a period that the money will stop flowing, because like money is energy, we are energy, and it's constantly flowing. Sometimes it will be bigger amounts, sometimes it will be smaller amounts, but like if you will believe that the universe will not stop if you will stop, then everything will be all right. So if you're good at planning, then absolutely you can plan, like, okay, plan a 3 months budget. Like if you will stop working and for 3 months no money will come, you still will
Mhm.
live, and it
Yeah.
will be okay. Or if you're okay, because like you can be a defined head, etc., so you can have some things can come easier to you. You can, for example, add a project for the next few months. Maybe it will be okay with you, because maybe, I don't know, your route is defined and mine is
Mhm.
not. So you can plan already ahead there. You can always cancel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can always cancel it, but see what works for you. Like experiment. Here's my
Mhm.
pre speaking.
I think that
Experiment
right?
what will suit you, but definitely try it out. Once you try it once, you will never go back. And those periods of not working can be smaller. Try with
Yeah.
taking a Friday off and see what happens. Like, let it
Yeah.
be 4 Fridays in a row, or not, like, okay, do a 3 or 4 day weekend once a month and see,
Mhm.
like, did something happened? Then your business collapsed? No, it didn't. You're still here. Everything's going to be okay. So if doing something big at once is like scared for you, then go with baby steps. Try one day and see what happens. I bet it will be like mind blowing, like, oh, I want
Mhm.
more, I want more. So there will be starting to think, okay, what can I do to have more of this? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my very, very long advice.
No, I love that advice. Like exactly what you said, experiment with it. And it doesn't have to be something huge. Like it doesn't have to be a month yet. And
Yes.
it can be, a couple days, a day. And it's so true, at least in my case. I'm also a line 3. So I agree. I put the stamp of approval on it. But yeah, like once you do it and you experience it and you live it and you see that you're still supported during that period, you start to build that trust, and then it gets stronger, and then and you start to feel lighter, and you have more clarity because you've given yourself rest, and just there's so many benefits to it, and it's true that you'll never go back. Right.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely am a big fan of these like creative, or I guess rest periods in my business, right?
Yeah.
Necessary. And I guess my last question is, no, I have a couple more questions, but
Sure.
what is your what would you say is your favorite part? about being a manifester?
Hmm. Which one is the favorite? That whenever I'm feeling down, I get to remind myself that I'm a very powerful person, that I'm the initiator, and like that I'm the spark, like I'm giving you the spark and the rest is happening. So everything
Hmm.
starts from me. So every time if I'm like on my low of emotional wave and everything sucks, I remind myself like who I am, and that I can do anything, that yes, that I'm the one. Sometimes I even refer to myself as like I'm the chosen one, because like everything's stopping from me. Like I'm on my low, so I need to bring myself up.
Yeah,
Like I
why
need
not? Right? You need
I
to
need
remind
some
yourself.
tools. So exactly. So it's not being like, oh yeah, listen, like Carolina is, oh, you're that the one, etc., and nothing needs to happen. Like, no, I just need to remind myself. Like, I don't go around and tell like, oh, I'm the greatest, etc. My clients tell me that.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not the one that's going that's telling everybody like, oh yeah, you should work with me because I'm the
Hmm.
greatest. Like, no, you should work with me because like me as a manifester, especially for other manifestors, I'm giving you so much freedom and
Yeah.
not putting you inside of the box. So that is great. So I remind myself how powerful I am, and that helps me to go to my neutral, like, okay, like I got it, and
Hmm.
I can handle it. And since I'm aware of all my human design, how I work, how I operate, my lows are very shorter. they
Hmm.
they they don't last days like they used to. They
Yeah.
last like few hours, and usually it's because I'm tired.
Yeah.
So my
Exactly.
sacral is like, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Go rest, go rest at least now. And so it's more of that, why I'm on the low of my emotional wave. But I managed to catch myself very fast and move to my upper wave. I'm not
Hmm.
always that person like, oh, it's great, life is great.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm on my neutral. And one funny thing about manifestor, a lot of manifestor has this, it's called the resting bitch face.
Oh, really? Yeah. The RBF.
So
Yeah.
when I'm out in public, nobody approaches me, but then I
Mm.
like I saw myself in the mirror and I'm always like,
That's
and
funny.
yeah, I'm unapproachable. So that yeah, that's also a thing I like about being a manifester, that when I just put on my face, like
Hmm.
I'm unapproachable. Like if
Yeah.
somebody tries, like if I see someone that wants to approach me, like when I'm, I don't know, drinking my coffee alone in a coffee shop, and I'm in my zone and I don't want anyone to interrupt me, I'm just putting on the face, I just give
Yeah.
them looks, and they're like, oh, okay, no.
No.
So yeah, so that's the second things I love about being a manifestor.
Yeah. I mean, that closed, dense aura protects you from when you don't want to be disturbed, when you don't want to,
Yeah,
right? Oh,
exactly.
I
and,
love
and
it.
there was one story, like I have to tell it. It was like the third or fourth wave of COVID. I
Hmm.
was on a train. It was a long way because it was like around 5 hours. And I was like, I went in, it was this cabin, so there was like, it can fit six people. I
Hmm.
went in, one girl came, so okay, it's just the two of us. But then one guy came, he sat across,
Yeah.
and he was sneezing and coughing, and I'm like, oh my god, really, is this happening? Like it's like the third fourth wave of COVID.
Oh,
And I'm like, I like put, I don't know what I did exactly and how to explain it. I just did my manifestor thing, and I just said to myself, like, Aura, do your thing. Like, I need him out of here. I don't want this man to travel with us and like coughing. Like, I have kids back home. I cannot come back sick
yeah.
and ill. And it was 3 minutes. He stand up, he went out, he left his bag and everything, but he went up, and he came back 6 hours later when he was going out of the train.
Oh
So
my goodness.
that was literally like when I said like to my Aura, like, do your thing, like let him leave.
I wonder what your face looked like in that moment. You're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Right.
I don't
You
know
got
if
the
he was
message.
looking. He got the message. That was the most important thing. So yeah,
That's
so
funny.
That's thing I love.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And for the people that, want to work with you or are curious as to how to step more into this manifestor or even whatever design they are, what are you offering right now that you'd like to share?
I would love to share my newest offer because like I always experiment with the offers. It's the blueprint, the written blueprint on your life, how to like guide yourself through life. So it's basically a reading, but in a book, in a PDF.
Hmm.
So this is my latest baby, and I would love to experiment on how that goes because I usually offer one-on-one sessions. I also do offers, and so if you don't like to read, you can always come to me for a one-on-one session. Especially a lot of manifestor is coming to me because I always say that nobody understands another manifestor as another manifestor
Hmm.
because like we think a bit differently. So we understand each other more.
Yeah.
I think. So yeah, the written PDF blueprint is something new. So I encourage you if you want to have a book about yourself because you can always come back to it. So
Hmm.
like, okay, I read it, then I go experiment, but then I forget something, then I go back to the book and like, oh, okay, so I was doing this wrong, or like, okay, here I'm doing progress, great, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep up the good work. So this is my latest baby, and I really invite you here to do your reading on a PDF to have a book about yourself.
Yes, amazing. And I'll leave all of Karolina's details in the description below if you want to reach out, if you want to get that amazing blueprint or even a reading with her. And yeah, I guess to wrap up this, I was going to say like call, interview, session, chat, this conversation. Um, my question for you is what is your favorite quote or mantra right now, if you have any?
I think it will be the one that I already said. It was already
Oh,
said here.
yes,
If
you did.
if you do not will to help me, then at least don't interrupt me.
Words of wisdom to live by as a manifestor, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Inform.
Absolutely, like you don't need to. Me as a manifestor, I don't think I need any help.
Mhm.
Which sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's like okay, like help me do this. It
Yeah.
would be nice. I will do those things on myself. But if you could sometimes help me, that would be great. That goes
Mhm.
especially to my kids if you're watching.
Yeah.
So, but at least if you're not helping, then do not interrupt and let me be in my flow. Let me do my
Mhm.
stuff. Let me just be. So yeah, that will be the quote that I will leave you all with, especially manifestors. But I think it will work also with the
Oh,
rest.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And there you have it. Words of wisdom from the amazing Karolina. And so just wanted to say thank you so, so much for being here and for sharing your manifestor wisdom, your energy. Oh, I'm basking in it right now. I love it.